Hey everybody, welcome back to Jackson Jetsetting and welcome to Ocean Cay. Ocean Cay is a former industrial island in the Bahamas that MSC has completely transformed into their own private island destination, similar to other private islands that other cruise ships may port in. So this is MSC's version. I'm excited to check it out for the very first time. I'm gonna walk around this entire island and it looks absolutely gigantic from the ship. So let's get started. No tendering needed here. They have their own pier, and let's kick it over to me on the island. All right, so we made it to Ocean Cay. This is MSC's private destination. We're here nice and early at 8:30. Gonna explore the island a little bit, do a lighthouse climb, then head over to the Yacht Club exclusive area. A lot of stuff to do on the island. This is an interesting one because they've completely renovated the island from being an industrial island originally. So as you walk away from the ship, you'll enter the more lush feeling entry area for Ocean Cay. This area felt very new. I loved all the bright colors, very Bahamas style here. So this is where you'll grab transportation to other parts of the island. The biggest surprise for me walking around this entire island doing this video is that it is absolutely gigantic. It felt much bigger than any of the other private islands that I have experienced, even Coco Cay. It's huge. It takes a while to walk around here. Luckily for Yacht Club guests, they do have transportation all around the island. It'll take you over to the Ocean House, which is at the furthest point away from the ship on the island. It's actually on its own island called North Island. But even if you're not in Yacht Club, you can grab shuttles to other parts of the island. Immediately to the right is a newer area on Ocean Cay, and this is a part of the MSC Foundation. They're trying to grow coral on the island. This is technically a marine preserve. They've planted over 5,000 trees on the island to make it a lot more lush than what it looked like when it was just an industrial island, which probably didn't have any trees on it at all. And so they're trying to bring more birds to the island, and now they have a ton of species of birds here, which I think is really cool. So that's one kind of differentiating factor I saw with this island versus others, is that they are trying to at least better the environment than what it started with. I think most private islands usually are developing an island that was already lush to begin with. This one is a little different. It was industrial. So kudos to MSC for making this work as a business, and let's explore a little bit more of the island. So the Marine Conservation Center is not really fully functional yet. Seems like they are pretty well set up and almost ready to go, but they have a big area just for tanks for growing the coral outdoors that kids and adults alike can check out. There's also a visitor center here that has a few exhibits on what they're trying to do. And there are a few education rooms and meeting rooms over here to the left. Really great views of the ship as well, so if you're looking for a nice view of the ship that you came in on, you can head over here to the point and get some really nice views. If you're wondering about Ocean Cay's location, it's located pretty close to Bimini, which is a cruise stop for many voyages. It's one of my favorite islands in the Bahamas. You can check out a full tour of that island on the channel. And around this area, they also built a dive shop, so that's really great. It's built for snorkeling and diving, and there are a number of islands that they can take you to pretty close by that's going to have decent coral going on. Love the marina setup here. This felt very built out and awesome. Lots of jet skis for rent, a couple of catamarans for the snorkel tours, so a lot of fun there. And then nearby are going to be a number of different areas, kind of your first aid stations, your gift shops, and things of that nature. And so besides the Ocean House for the Yacht Club, this area felt the most built out and also the best organized. This looked very finished and very, very nice. A lot of other places in the island, I felt like they were still under construction and they could do a little bit better at, and I'll point those out throughout this video. But this was a really nice little arrival area, and this is walking towards a lot of the beaches. We're going to do a grand circle of the island, so this may not be the way that you go, but you can at least get a bearing for the island if you're planning a trip here. It's the whole point of these videos. And if you love cruising, if you love these types of videos, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps me out. I make these videos just to help you have a better cruise vacation. And if you're looking for a little bit more personal help with planning your next cruise vacation, you can reach out to me at mark@jacksonjetsetting.com. And so one of our last stops in Ocean Cay Village is going to be our first bar that we will come across on the island. There are a lot of bars on the island. They all pretty much have similar menus, but there are a few showers as well and restrooms available nearby. And so this bar is called Springer's Bar. It's got a little bit of an industrial feel to it. Love the oil cans that you can sit in that they've turned into chairs. And this is going to have great views of the marina traffic coming and going. So if that's more your vibe, this may be the bar for you. Right across the way is going to be a fun coffee shop as well as the Smiling Fish ice cream shop. This is not included ice cream in your cruise like some of the other private islands that I've visited, and neither is the coffee, so this is all an extra charge. And I did think that the ice cream was a little expensive, but if you are someone who needs that ice cream on a hot day, and it does get hot here on Ocean Cay, that might be for you. So it is available to you. There are a lot of maps around to give you a lay of the land, and so we're starting close to that ship there and making our way around the whole island. Also a lot of signage to point you in the right direction. Here's all the crew housing, which I feel like is very, very nice. I've seen other crew housing on some of the other pirate islands, and it looks very industrial. They really did want to make this look nice for the guests visiting. Lots of little photo opportunities around. And here's kind of the first look of how things look a little unfinished. These piles of sand, I think, just don't really... It's not really a relaxing vibe. Nearby is the Seekers Food Court. This opens at noon and serves lunch, and I will say that the lines looked pretty long for this in the afternoon when I walked by. So if you are interested in lunch on the island, I do recommend getting there first thing, or you might end up waiting in a line that looks like this. And if I'm going to be honest, the food didn't look all that appetizing either, so just keep that in mind. Next to Seekers Food Court is Seekers Cove, and that is going to be the family cove, so it's nice and protected here. This is one of the newer additions to the island. Nice big beach, plenty of space for families to hang out and run around. There are a number of things that you can rent on the island, like paddle boards, kayaks, little floaty mats, things like that. So you can do that here right on the beach. Just past Seekers Cove is going to be a fork in the road. To the right will take you to North Island. There's a couple of things that are public on North Island, and then it's also where Yacht Club's Ocean House is going to be located. So I did end up taking a tram from the main part of the ship after I walked around the whole island to check everything out here. So we'll take a right and head over to North Island. A couple of different beach shacks available with food. Some pavilions just to do some corporate events, it seemed like. Another view of Seekers Cove over here to the right. And that is one nice benefit of the Yacht Club, is that you do have the transportation to take you over to this area because it is a pretty long walk. It's a beautiful walk and very nice to walk if you are able, but nice to have the option on those very hot days. A quick drive over the bridge here and we're on to North Island. At a certain point you will have to show your wristband to make sure that you are allowed to be in the Ocean House. But then there's going to be cabanas to rent immediately to your right, the private beach for Ocean House folks, all with bar service, so people are coming by all the time, making it a great day on the beach. And then the golf cart will drop you off right at the Ocean House, which is where the bar is, as well as the restaurant. There's an air-conditioned area as well. Very helpful. This did feel like a private Bahamian estate, which I really liked. It was nice and private, quiet, very cool feel, and just an awesome perk to have for being in Yacht Club. I know they did add on to the Ocean House, which is awesome. Seemed like they were able to fill a lot of seats for lunch, but you have this nice covered deck. Lunch again served from 12 to 2 here, and it's going to be a little bit of a different menu. It's going to be a lot more upscale. And then of course all your drinks are included because you're in Yacht Club. Full open bar here, so all of the island drinks that you want to consume are available there. And then a nice menu to choose from. I had a nice salad and then a nice carne asada salad. And then a lovely crema catalana for dessert. There is another covered deck, a little bit more substantially covered from the elements, and then a small area indoors that's going to be air conditioned, so these tables, depending on the day, may be a little bit more sought after. And then the Ocean House is going to be overlooking that beach that we passed on the golf cart earlier, and it is a lovely environment. Beach chairs, full service, everything that you could want from a beach day right there. Walking away from the Yacht Club, you're going to find one of the prettiest beaches on the island. I think this is my favorite beach of all of them. Nice little volleyball going on here, but I just loved the look of this cove. So that is my favorite beach, the North Island beach. Head all the way there, and it's going to be very rewarding. It's also the furthest point away from the ship. On the opposite side of that is going to be one part of the lagoon. So the North Island is one section of the massive lagoon, great for families, very protected from the waves, just this beautiful blue water. This is definitely one of the best parts about Ocean Cay. It's this blue water that is just everywhere, and the really white sand contrasts great with it. Awesome for pictures. Really, really cool stuff. The Beach Shack I mentioned earlier has a full menu, and they actually have some extra charge items if you want that lobster going on, which is pretty cool. And that'll be located across. There's a couple of different ones, and you just have to look for the Blue Shack throughout the island. And this may have a less of a wait than that full buffet that we passed earlier. So now we're going to move our way away from North Island. That's North Island in the distance that we can see. We're going to make our way around the lagoon and go find the spa on the island. So I love how manicured everything felt right here. And the whole island's pathways are paved, which is really nice. And they have lights because this island's actually open at night, which is pretty cool. And there's music playing throughout the whole island, which is nice. This is another food court. I believe it was called Boho House. So another area that you can grab some food. And then they had a few bars available on this walk as well to the other point on the island, but did seem like some of them were still under construction. I'm not sure if they were fully done yet. And then you're gonna reach another fork in the road, and we're gonna head to the right because this is where the island's extension of the spa is available. And it's a very long walk. I made the turn here and it took me another 10 or 15 minutes of pure walking to get to the spa. As we get closer to the spa on the island, the music changes to this ethereal relaxation music like I'm about to get a massage. Really great views facing North Island and the entire lagoon behind you, so you do have to walk all the way around, and of course they do have golf carts that'll take you over here for treatments. You do have the wilder side of the island with the crashing waves as you walk up, and we're still making our way to the spa area. And so I didn't really know what to expect from the spa area on the island. I did kind of think that there would be maybe a pool or something like that, but there was no pool. There's actually no pool on the island, which I think is a very unique feature of this island, but also one of the detractions. I think there's so many private islands here in the Bahamas now that have these awesome pools. Just a lot of kids are probably missing out on that. But once you enter the spa complex here at Ocean Cay, there's a number of different huts that you can get some beachside treatments. Very, very private, very cool. But that's really about it. So there's not a lot going on in this section. There is a helipad that they can use to get people on or off the island in case of an emergency. So that is an option there. And then there is a wedding pavilion here. So this is going to be a really pretty place to get married if you're doing that on your voyage. And so here's that wedding pavilion, and now we're going to look back towards the ship and the lagoon. So pretty far away. It's about a mile or two. It is a dead end, so you have to turn around, but you have this great view from Sunset Beach of the lighthouse, and that's where we're heading to next. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a ton going on here. There's definitely bars, all seem to be the same theme and like build. Then there's a couple restaurant areas, a ton of chairs. I'm imagining it's going to get quite busy a little later. We will definitely check out what the menu looks like for a regular guest, as well as what we're going to experience over in the Yacht Club. But yeah, there's a lot of space here to expand and maybe do a little bit more than what I've seen. It's very pretty blue water, a little windy today. Yeah, they planted lots of trees. I can imagine this place without the trees, how barren it would feel. It kind of feels, I don't know, just like rustic a little bit. So a very chill beach day, I imagine, will be in the future for everyone here, which is not a bad thing. Like everyone in the industry, I'm wondering how much they're looking at the success of Coco Cay, just a few islands away, and if they're going to add a water park or anything like that. They want it to be like a marine preserve, so it might kind of be against that mission, so maybe they won't add it because they have a lot of room. Coming up close to the lighthouse is going to be a fun little bar right on the Sunset Beach. So this is going to have great views of the sunset if you're here a little bit later. Again, this island is open at night, so they have DJ parties, they have a light show on the lighthouse. Unfortunately, our sailing, we weren't staying that late. We had to get back to Port Canaveral, but that is pretty cool. You actually can do an overnight here. You stay on the ship, of course, but you're able to go to the island late night and come back later in the day. Makes this for a very relaxing vacation. All right, so now we are heading to the lighthouse. We got a walk up the tower. It cost normal price $24. The app is about $20.30 with some discount they're running. I'm not sure what it's really going to be all about. I think it's really just a chance to go up the lighthouse, which should have some good photos. That's what I'm after here. So good little climb up to the top too. And so this is going to be Lighthouse Bay. So this is going to be a huge beach with a great view of the ship and the lighthouse, that beautiful blue water, of course. And they're going to have a DJ booth on this island. So this is going to be definitely the party beach. If you're looking for that, if you're part of the young crowd or young at heart, you can come here a little bit later in the day and they'll be having the music pumping. Really beautiful beach though. It's really cool to have the ship right there, and just feels like your own beach here this early in the morning when I was shooting this video around 9:30 in the morning. So if you're looking for that, get up early, get off the ship, beat the rush, and then maybe go back a little early when it gets really hot. Now we'll take this little path to the lighthouse and check out Lighthouse and Lighthouse Bar. So I'd heard that the channel to get the ships in here is very narrow, and I'm now seeing it, and it's definitely the case. I see why they have trouble with wind. Take a look. So I had a bit of time to kill before my tour. It started at 10 a.m. Check-in was at 9:45. So I hung out at the Lighthouse Bar. This is definitely my favorite bar on the island. I love all the crashing waves. I love the view of the lighthouse and the ships here. This is definitely a cool one. It's got some nice shade as well. It's also not too far of a walk from the ship. It's not the closest bar, but it does get you out there in the ocean. I think that's the whole point of these private islands, just to be close to the water, have this awesome feeling of having almost your own private island with just, a few thousand other ship guests. But a really cool bar. So now let's do our tour of the lighthouse. So lasted about 30 minutes. We had a great guide. I don't think that, $25 is necessarily highway robbery, but I do kind of wish that this was maybe free or maybe $10 or so. But it is a beautiful view from up top. We get a little bit of history of the island. We're able to ask him some questions about kind of how islands are operating. You also see the LEDs that they put on the tower from the inside, which is pretty cool. Very unique feature, though, is having that whole LED show on the lighthouse. Wish we were able to see that on this voyage, but next time. A couple different viewing platforms, and they take it pretty slow. You have 2 stops on the way up to the top. All the same view, just a little bit higher. You can see the lights at the very top here as well, and you get really great views of the ship. So very, very cool experience. I think definitely recommend doing if you can handle the stairs. Overall, I think it's worth it for the photos alone. So what are my thoughts on MSC's private island, Ocean Cay? One, the view from the ship, the island looks absolutely beautiful. Love the blue water here. I like this area of the Bahamas. It's pretty close to Bimini, and just for whatever reason, I just feel like the water is pretty here, though it's, you know, pretty everywhere. I mean, even in Nassau, it's really beautiful. So they got that going for them. Lots of beaches, huge island, absolutely huge. Walking around today, I was really surprised how long it took me to walk around the whole island and film my content and check everything out. I just feel like there's not a ton to do on the island. You know, there's a bunch of different bars, and you can hang out at those bars. You can go rent some beach equipment, you know, different kayaks and things like that. The lagoon is really great for that because it's protected from a lot of the wind. But, you know, besides that, there's no huge activities. There's no zip line course. There's no water park. There's no, you know, mini golf course, anything like that on the island to do. So it's definitely just a casual beach day, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It might be what you're looking for. Just keep that in mind if you're choosing MSC's island over maybe a different cruise line's island, that it is definitely a beach day. I did pay for one excursion here. I did the Lighthouse climb for about 24 bucks. It takes 30 minutes, but I think it's worth doing. It's fun to get the good view of the island, get a little bit of island history. The guide was really great. So it's pretty fun to at least do that. But yeah, and it doesn't take up a ton of time during your day. Seems like they're continuing to add to the island, so this may change in the future. But this is definitely where I was thankful I had access to MSC's Yacht Club on the island. So Ocean House is MSC's area for Yacht Club guests. It's on the North Island, so technically it's two different private islands that they have here. So you take a small bridge and a private golf cart over to that area. It's about a 5-minute ride, and really delicious lunch, 3-course lunch. Definitely more upscale than what I saw on the island. Really long lines for lunch, not a lot of places to sit. So that's definitely something that they could improve and probably hurts the experience for the average guest. And then the private beach area is really nice. I do think there are better beaches on the island, but it's nice to have that waiter service right there, beach chairs, all that stuff, all included with your Yacht Club package. So I do think that that's definitely a big plus if your itinerary does include Ocean Cay. Getting Yacht Club does get you like a really nice day here on Ocean Cay.